Welcome, everybody, to the Archetypical Mind Study Group. Today's session 22, and we are doing Experience of the Spirit. Let's start with the prayer of
Love before me, love behind me, love at my left, love at my right, love above me, love below me, love in me, love in my surroundings, love to all, love to the universe. Peace before me, peace behind me, peace at my left, peace at my right, peace above me, peace below me, peace in me, peace in my surroundings, peace to all, peace to the universe. Light before me, light behind me, light at my left, light at my right, light above me, light below me, light in me, light in my surroundings, light to all, light to the universe.
We thank the One Infinite Creator for this opportunity to serve, to know ourselves, to accept ourselves, and to become the Creator. Let our hearts be filled with gratitude to those of Ra for bringing us the archetypes as a tool for this inner work, and those of Quo for extending our knowledge of these tools. We extend our gratitude to the channeling team at LL Research for bringing us this knowledge. We invite Quo to join us in this working. We also invite our guides, our higher selves, and the ascended masters to grace us with your presence and to show us what we need to know. May all beings find what they truly seek. Amen.
Questioner, the only obvious significant, oops, what happened?
Oh my goodness.
Who's this little troublemaker entity causing these problems here?
Okay.
Ghost in the machine.
Take 72. Okay. Take 72.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Questioner, the only obvious significant difference, I believe, between the positive and negative adepts in using this shuttle is the way they polarize. Is there a relationship between the archetypes of the spirit and whether the polarization is either positive or negative? Is, for instance, the positive calling through the 16th archetype and the negative calling through the 15th archetype? I'm very confused about this, and I imagine that question is either poor or meaningless. Can you answer that?
I am Ra. It is a challenge to answer such a query, for there is some confusion in its construction. However, we shall attempt to speak upon the subject. The adept, whether positive or negative, has the same matrix. The potentiator is also identical. Due to the catalyst of each adept, the adept may begin to pick and choose that into which it shall look further. The experience of the spirit, that which you call the moon, is then by far the more manifested influences upon the polarity of the adept. Even the most unhappy of experiences, shall we say, which seem to occur in the catalyst of the adept, seem from the viewpoint of the spirit, nay, with the discrimination possible in shadow, be worked with until the light equaling the light of the brightest noon descends upon the adept, and positive or service to others illumination has occurred. The service to self adept will satisfy itself with the shadows, and grasping the light of day will toss back the head in grim laughter, preferring the darkness.
Let us first define the term black arts or black magical art. The metaphysical, both of the service to others path and the service to self path, is that which takes place upon a field which appears to be dark. The background of metaphysical work for both polarities is a metaphysical environment of darkness, for the metaphysical consciousness of the living spirit within third density illusion is hidden within the deep and unlit roots of mind. Consequently, both those who seek the darkness and those who seek the light begin in a common ground of darkness, the darkness of that which is not known.
On this level of seeking for energy or power, the search for truth is conducted in night conditions. The moon's dimmest light is the brightest illumination as one seeks spiritually. It is extremely subtle and difficult work to distinguish truth from inaudible or outright falsity, to distinguish the positive leaning toward the love of the Infinite One and service to others from the same activity which may seek service to self. Many of those metaphysical seekers who expect that the seeking toward the positive truth will be done in noonday sun, metaphysically speaking, this is untrue. The metaphysical search is not clear, obvious, or simple. Each of you here who listens to this voice speaking our thoughts knows of the case of mistaking apparent truth for truth and can recall instances in which that which one thought one had discovered to be a shining light was instead relatively valueless and not filled with light or power.
In the dim moonlight, shadows can be deceiving. The metaphysical search, then, is one in which faith is the great illuminator, that faith which cannot be given by one to another, that faith which each gestates within the spiritual part of the mind and body, so that there becomes a faith which is personal, founded by the self.
However, the entire spectrum of the spiritual journey takes place in darkness and in the light of the moon. Consequently, all that shall be good as well as all that shall be evil, according to your definitions of good and evil, alike are present in the darkness. This darkness is not a positive condition, but rather an absence of light. The unknown seems dark because it is as yet unlit by familiarity, whereas negativity and evil seem dark because they express the utter refusal to let a light shine.
We are those of Quo. My brother, we were using the image of darkness not as an absence of anything, but rather as that fertile blackness of night wherein the spirit has its birth. We are Quo. We were speaking of the desire to lose the darkness of the nature as not bearing fruit. We were suggesting that the seeker does not need to remove the dark side of the nature in order to progress. Rather, the seeker needs to come to an inner understanding of its particular workings, looking for ways to achieve such a discipline of the character and personality that the darker images are disciplined and allowed to move through appropriate channels. We are suggesting that once the dark nature of the will is grasped, the positively oriented seeker can then begin to see that shadow self as an asset rather than viewing it as an enemy.
The processes by which one becomes able to discipline this dark side is individual, and each seeker shall wrestle with those dark angels as each continues to discover, accept, and discipline new aspects or newly perceived aspects of that dark genius. We are asking each seeker then to take into the heart the full spectrum of self and to love each and every aspect, and yet to find ways to express only those things which are intended. We do not wish you to run away from what is one of the great strengths of the self.
From the beginning, there has been darkness. From the beginning, there has been light. Side by side were these two created. Darkness does not comprehend light. So it is written in your holy works, neither does light comprehend darkness. You live upon the hair-line shadow which lies between light and darkness. Your illusion is that of twilight. It is especially noticeable when you spend more of your time with outside darkness that you are indeed an inhabitant of a shadowland. Yet on the brightest summer day, as the butterflies dance and the flowers move in the trees, yet still you are in shadow.
This is your density, that density which chooses between the efforts to comprehend the light and the efforts to comprehend the darkness. From this point of view, many discussions which you have may be seen to become simple. In each situation, there is darkness and there is light. Your choice is your own. In the darkness and most difficult of situations, there is light. You yourselves are a brightly burning fire, created and creating consciousness. You may create darkness, you may create light, and each thought and action will reflect your choice.
I am the Twee, and am aware of your query, my sister. Indeed, there is nothing wrong when we speak with your words to describe either path, whether it be positive or negative. We do not mean to judge. We do not mean to say that one is good, the other bad. There is nothing wrong with darkness, for within the great depths of the primeval darkness of the spirit is the love and the light of the one Creator potentiated into being. Thus, one cannot exist without the other within your creation. All is indeed one. To describe any portion of that oneness with any term is indeed to distort through the description.
Such is the nature of your own spirit. It is nurtured in the darkness of the season, and you are brought to childbed with it as the timing of your own process pulls you into new birth, the birth of your own spiritual self within incarnation. For this is one of the great values of being in incarnation. You're able, when you become conscious of the situation of our incarnation and its advantages, to determine within incarnation to awaken that sleeping soul within that has been brought along due to incarnation within you, but certainly hidden, sometimes fairly deeply within the stuff of personality, culture, and conditioning.
In the darkness within the self lie both the riches of the soul and the less appreciated of the riches of the shadow side of that soul. As you bring this infant, that is you as a soul, into conscious awareness and begin to nurture that part of yourself as if it were an infant that needed love and tending, you begin to pull that structure within you that is the witness to all that you undergo in incarnation into more clarity. It is that witness that can release thoughts of the darkness and thoughts of the gaiety and simply continue witnessing as that child within begins to express itself, to reach towards the light that it sees, to begin to have the energy and vitality to move upon its own and to begin to grow within incarnation. As you go about nurturing this beautiful portion of the inner self, we would ask you also to look very carefully to find the wolf that bites, to find the murderer, the thief, the adulterer, to find that entity within the self that truly does partake of the darkness of self-good, that part of selfhood that is self-involved, that has the impulse to think first of the self.
It is as though there are parts of the self that have been denied because they are too dark. They are too seemingly selfish or evil or harsh or rough. And yet that whole entity which you are cannot function without all, both the light and the dark of its nature. Many times entities who polarize toward beauty and truth and purity feel that they must deny and leave behind those shadow portions of self. And yet we would ask you not to leave behind one iota of that 360 degrees of self that you do possess. For all the voices within you, all of the 180 degrees of good and the 180 degrees of that which you label not good are necessary to integrate into one peaceful kingdom within.
The anxiety which produces stress is a portion of each seeker's methodology, shall we say, or technique of preparing the self for growth. Much as a runner before a race feels the adrenaline pumping through the veins, so does the seeker of truth before the great opportunity to move more fully into unconditional love feel the anxiety that dealing with such a great unknown produces. The unknown is always available to any seeker of truth who wishes to move forward in its spiritual path. This is the nature of the process of seeking.
The veil of forgetting is that feature which enhances the feeling of what you call fear or anxiety, or the knowing of that challenge which is to come that may or may not be possible for the self to meet successfully. Thusly, we who live beyond the veil do not have this quality to provide us with fear, for we see clearly the energies at hand and are aware that we have many times utilized these energies, which are merely a part of our greater self and a part of your greater self. However, within your third density illusion, the veil of forgetting provides a much more efficient means of making the discovery of such energies and such opportunities meaningful to the seeker of truth. Therefore, the anxiety is merely a sign to your deeper self, or we should say a sign from your deeper self, that you are about to embark upon that which is the heart of your journey, the purpose of your incarnation, the destination that each seeks.
The deep wanderings of any entity will include many episodes during which the knight in shining armor errs in judgment or in intention, and consequently loses the luster of the feeling of honor that goes with the appellation of knight. While in the metaphysical realm, error is not seen in the same light, shall we say, as within your density and within your illusion. Nevertheless, within the metaphysical worlds there may be found in any incarnation those spots which did not come clean, those stains of judgment which became catalyst for growth, and cause indeed for those extremely understandable emotions of regret and self-doubt.
We do not take from you the sting of this learning, for it has been helpful and will continue to be helpful in the way of the ore that is flung into the machine, which whirls rocks at high velocity in order to crack them and to open up the ore within them. This kind of action is the corrosive and concussive kind of catalyst that truly creates the feelings of the darker side of the palette of colors of emotion that tell you the truth about the essence of any biological entity which you may call a soul. This catalyst is that which is, as the Beatitudes of the Centuries Bibles. The catalyst is that which is, as the Beatitudes of this instrument's Bible. Those sayings of the one known as Jesus describe the poor in heart and those who mourn as blessed.
We would simply comment at this time in response to both queries that it is often the plight and pleasure of the seeker to find the opportunities for increasing service and oneness to be presented in situations which provide the trauma, the doubt, the confusion, and the difficulty in perceiving clearly. This is the nature of any exploration into that which may be called the unknown. Rejoice, my friends, in your doubt, in your confusion, in your frustrations, and in your angers, for they are signposts which alert you to the fact that your seeking is increasing, and the opportunities for knowing the love and light of the one Creator are also increased.
The experiences of the daily activities are merely the laboratory within which the concept of love is planted. Those activities which allow it to manifest in some form are most difficult to clearly penetrate by even the most astute students of their own evolution. The mysteries and the paradoxes within your illusion are most important, for they draw the seeker forward into unknown territory and thus require the strengthening of the will and the faith, the progress of a lasting quality, of a metaphysical quality, is actually possible within a material world which seems so out of tune so often.
I am Latwii, and am aware of your query, my brother. We can only suggest that as you attempt this lesson of love and utilize the various means of learning it, that your success cannot be known to you, for as we mentioned, you move within a darkness of knowing. The true nature of your illusion, of your very being, and of the fiber of creation is almost totally unknown to even the most, shall we say, enlightened of your beings. Therefore, all that can be done is to seek with a full and whole heart, and to accept that effort as the best one can give, and to look about the self whenever possible, and to see not this and that, but the one Creator. You must have what you have called faith to continue within an illusion which offers so little that is obviously the one Creator, and so much that is, it would seem as obvious, not the one Creator.
Picture, if you will, your path is not as straight ahead, but as a spiral. You can picture it as a spiral going upward, and that will be accurate because each time you work with an incarnational lesson, you have walked further into the light. You have experienced behind you now. You are far more able to be present with your catalyst and to approach it fearlessly. Yet also, you may picture this journey as a spiral downward or inward. It is as if you were peeling layers of a many layered thing like an onion, where all of your suffering and all of your triumph moves you one layer closer to the center of your incarnational lesson. The center remains a mystery, yet as you move through these cycles of learning, there is an equal amount of increased insight and increased challenge.
The suffering that so many of your peoples experience is likened to the tempering of the metal that gives to it its integrity, that burnishes it with a brightness and a sheen that is able to reflect great amounts of light to others as a result of the tempering. The lessons that are available within this illusion are many and are quite varied, most existing within the clouds of mystery for those who witness and for those who experience them.
The mysterious nature of all the various kinds of lessons that aid in overall increasing of the ability to give and receive love have mystery as their salient feature in order that there be an effort necessary to penetrate to the essence, the main foundation of each lesson. Thus, the effort that is necessary to deal with mystery involves many other kinds of qualities of being, such as patience, perseverance, humor, joy, acceptance, and so forth. Thus, the stuff of your illusion seems to have much of grime, grit, and gravity about it, but is in fact the forge in which the true spirit is fired by the inspiration that is at the heart of each seeking portion of the one creator to find again the source of its own being, the destiny of the soul.
Thank you, guys. Let's continue with the meditation.
Take a deep breath in, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and relax. Let the wave of relaxation move up from your toes, your feet, ankles, moving up your calves, your knees, thighs, hips, moving up your abdominal area and up your spine towards the chest, to the shoulders, down your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, relaxing your neck, your jaw, cheeks, ears, back of the head, eyes, temples, eyebrows, forehead, crown, whole body relaxing. Feeling your violet ray energy center opening up, radiating outwards and joining with all other violet ray energy centers. Covering the entire earth with this violet ray from this joining. Opening up the indigo ray energy center, radiating outwards, joining with others and covering the entire earth. Opening up the blue ray energy center, joining with others and covering the entire earth. A blue mist of all our blue rays joining together, radiating out our green ray energy centers, joining with everyone else's and covering the entire earth with our green ray energy centers. Opening up our yellow ray energy centers and joining with others, radiating out and covering the entire earth with this yellow ray. Opening up the orange ray energy center, radiating out, joining with all the others, covering the entire earth. Opening up the red ray energy center, joining with others, radiating out, covering the entire earth. Sitting with this presence, this knowing of being joined. Sitting in this dark place behind your eyelids, this space between the objects, between the matter that's floating all around. Moving inwards into your beingness. Asking yourself, who am I? What am I? What is this entity sitting here? What belief do I hold about myself? You see before you a building, and you know within this building holds all the beliefs, all the stories that you once held. All recorded as part of a vast library of experience. Knowing that it doesn't matter if it's not true anymore. They are just there as part of the record, as part of the unfolding, as part of the story. And in front of this building that holds this vast library and the stories, the facts that you used to believe in, a creature stands guard. The one that wanted you to hold on to these stories, to keep believing in them. Beautiful looking creature, what does it want to tell you? And how do you feel about this library? Do you feel shame? Do you feel pride in yourself and how far you've moved on? Can you honor that part of your journey? become aware that this certainty that you hold now, that all the knowledge in that library is no longer true for you. This certainty you feel may also one day go into that library. How do you feel about that? Become aware of that feeling, that this knowing, this certainty may also vanish one day. Is there an aspect of you that is frightened of letting go of that certainty, that wants to guard it? Become aware and sit with it with love. In the shadows next to this building that holds all this knowledge, you start to make out another building, a much darker one, almost impossible to see in the darkness. And in it, there's a vast library with emptiness, empty books. It is a library of unknowing. Completely empty, full of books with blank pages. Where nothing is known because nothing can be known. How do you feel about this building with this vast library that might not even be worthy of being called a library? Do you feel intrigued? Do you feel repulsed? Outside of this building, a creature stands guard. What does this creature look like? What is guarding it? This building, what is it guarding from you? What is it guarding you from? What is the value of this unknowing? Sit with this unknowing and whatever emotions it provokes. As you sit there with this unknowing, you feel the earth, your true mother, radiating beautiful obsidian light upwards, activating your red energy center, radiating out, joining with all the other red energy centers, covering the entire earth, joining with your brothers and sisters, whatever you judge them to be, moving up, activating your orange ray energy center, joining with everyone else's, radiating out and covering the earth, moving up, to your yellow ray energy center, joining with others, covering the entire earth, moving up and activating your green ray energy center, radiating out and joining with others, covering the earth, healing it, moving up to your blue ray energy center, joining with everyone else's and covering the earth, moving up to the indigo energy center, radiating out, joining with others, covering the entire earth, moving up, activating the violet ray energy center, radiating out, joining with others, covering the entire earth.